Good morning, one and all. Respected dignitaries on the dais, invitees, participants of different universities and colleges. It is my pleasure to welcome all on behalf of Sadhguru Gargi Maharaj College, Karad, for the one-day national conference on practical librarianship and quality enhancement 2022. We are proud to announce that this conference is being conducted by Rayat Shikshan Samsthas, Sadhguru Gargi Maharaj College, Karad, and Autonomous College affiliated to Shivaji University, Kolhapur, RUSA Beneficiary and NAC Designated Mentor College, Keshavrao Pawar Central Library in association with Shivaji University College Librarian Association, SUCLA. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to lighten the lamp as our tradition. Thank you all the respected dignitaries. At the beginning, I would like to request Mr. Mahesh Gaikwad, librarian and convener of today's one-day national conference, to welcome the dignitaries, delegates, and honorable persons on the dais and to introduce the theme of today's conference.
Most respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, my beloved teachers, mentors, learned professional experts, a very good morning to all. With the grace of Almighty, on behalf of Rayat Shikshan Samsthas, Sadhguru Gargi Maharaj College, Karad, I am Mahesh Gaikwad, librarian of the Keshavrao Pawar Central Library, Sadhguru Gargi Maharaj College, Karad. Today, we have a one-day national conference on practical librarianship and quality enhancement, jointly organized by Keshavrao Pawar Central Library of Sadhguru Gargi Maharaj College, Karad, and Shivaji University College Librarians Association, Kolhapur. Let me begin the program by expressing my gratitude to our dynamic principal, Dr. Mohan Rajmani sir, for giving us the direction. I also express my gratitude to the all vice principals of the college for their efforts. Dear colleagues, as we know that the library services serves as a backbone to all the academic activities and plays a key role in supporting the academic and research activities in higher education institutions. The basic purpose of this one-day national conference is to discuss the advanced knowledge in the field of academic librarianship through the emphasis on the practical side of academic library work. Nowadays, ICT creates new challenges to the modern librarians. And to face these new challenges, understanding of the new pattern of practical librarianship is necessary. In this national conference, we will discuss the practical issues followed in academic library and quality enhancement services, expose the current challenges faced by the library professionals, and may overcome it through the quality discussion with eminent resource person of national repute. This conference will provide an opportunity to realize professionals, researchers, students, and faculty members to interact with present their innovative research work and emerging technology, which will be beneficial for the nation. First, on the behalf of Sadhguru Gargi Maharaj College, Karad, I heartily welcome today's chief guest of this inauguration ceremony, Dr. R.K. Kamath sir, Vice Chancellor of Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, Mumbai. I also welcome the first resource person of Dr. B.T. Sampath Kumar sir, Professor, Department of Studies and Research in Library and Information Science, Tumkuru University, Tumkuru, Karnataka. I also welcome to the Dr. D.V. Sutar sir, in charge director of Barrister Bahasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. I welcome Dr. P.V. Flower sir, my research guide and deputy librarian of the Barrister Bahasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. I welcome Dr. B.S. Parva sir, in charge principal and librarian of M.S. Sindhe Mahavidyalaya, Kisangi. And I also welcome Professor S.K. More sir, in charge principal and librarian of Sampatrao Mani College, Khanapur. I also welcome Dr. S.R. Shivsagar sir, librarian, Arts and Commerce College, Pusegaon, and life member of Rayat Shikshan Samsthas, Satara. I welcome all the participants who have given overwhelming response for this conference. I heartily welcome to all the participants who are virtually connected with us from various states of country like Goa, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh. I take this opportunity to express my gratitude towards my conference team members for all efforts behind the curtain. Once again, I warmly welcome to all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. Abhijit Mori to introduce today Chief Guest Honorable Dr. Rajneesh Kamath, Vice Chancellor Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, Mumbai.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I am really honored to introduce today's chief guest, Professor Dr. Rajneesh Kamath, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, Mumbai. He has elevated level of several academic and administrative positions, such as Senior Professor in Electronics, Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, Director, IQAC, Director, Innovation and Incubation Linkages, Director, Department of Technology, Computer Center, Head of Computer Science, Department of Electronics, Coordinator of UGC Career Counseling Cell, GIAN. Noteworthy, today's libraries conference, and he was in charge university librarian. He was member of various statutory authorities such as Management Council, Academic Council, Senate, Board of Information Technology, Board of Research, Board of National and International Linkages, Board of Examination and Evaluation, and various other bodies. Talking about his academic endeavors, teaching experience in higher education, he has 26 years of teaching experience in Goa University, Shivaji University, and Kolhapur University. He was UGC nominated reviewer for Learning Outcome Curriculum Framework. Talking about his research initiatives, research interests, he has research interest in neuromorphic computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning. About his research publications, he has published 15 books and 48 books chapters with various publishers such as Springer, River Publishers, Netherlands. He has published 183 research papers in well-reputed journals with high impact factors. He has H index of 22, I10 index of 47. Research supervision, current overseas research assignments, Adjunct Professor, Faculty of Information Technology, Victorian Institute of Technology, Australia. One of the investigator of European Union Erasmus funding project. He has completed various research projects such as Faculty Development Center in Cybersecurity and Data Science of MHRD between 2018 to 2021 of 696 lakhs as a principal investigator. He has completed RUSA and industry sponsored Center for VLSI System Design between 2018 to 2021 of 250 lakhs as a principal investigator. And at last, I would like to share one of the noteworthy incident about Kamath sir. When he was director of IQAC of Shivaji University and NAC visited Shivaji University, NAC pointed that SSR written by Kamath sir was one of the best SSR written by any personality or IQAC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for this brief introduction. Now we are moving towards the felicitation. First of all, I would like to request our respected principal, Dr. Mohan Rajmani Sahib, to felicitate today's Chief Guest, Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Rajneesh Kamath sir, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, Mumbai, by offering a memento, bouquet, shawl, book as a token of love. Thank you, sir. Again, I request our respected principal, sir, to felicitate today's resource person of the conference, Professor Dr. P.T. Sampath Kumar, sir, Department of Studies and Research in LIS, Tumkur University, Karnataka, by offering memento, bouquet, shawl, and book as a token of love. Thank you, sir. I request our Honorable Principal Sir to felicitate Dr. D.B. Sutar Sir, IC Director, Biotech Theoretical Knowledge Resource Center, Shivaji University, Kolhapur, by offering bouquet, shawl, and book as a token of love. Thank you, sir. I request our Principal Rajmani Sir to felicitate Dr. P.B. Pawar Sir, Deputy Librarian, Bahasahib Theoretical Knowledge Resource Center, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Thank you, sir. Now the felicitation of Chief Guest Honorable Dr. Rajnish Kamath Sir from SUCLA, Shivaji University College Library Association. I request Dr. R.P. Ado, President of SUCLA, and Dr. B.S. Pawar, Secretary SUCLA, to felicitate today Chief Guest Honorable Dr. R.K. Kamath Sir by offering a memento, bouquet, shawl, and book. Thank you, sir. I request Mr. Mahesh Gaikwad, Librarian, Convener of the today's conference, to felicitate our Honorable Principal, Dr. Mohan Rajmani Sahib, by offering a bouquet. Thank you, sir. I request Mr. R.T. Garud, Assistant Librarian, to felicitate Mr. Gaikwad, Librarian and Convener of the today's conference, SGM College, Karan. Thank you, sir. Now the virtual inauguration of ceremony, inauguration of special issue at the auspicious hands of dignitaries. Okay. In the International Journal of Advanced and Applied Research peer-reviewed journal, more than 128 papers were examined and published. Thanks all the participants for the overwhelming response for this conference. Now, I request our principal, Dr. Mohan Rajmani Sahib, to give his principal remarks for today's one-day national conference on practical librarianship and quality enhancement 2022.
Good morning, one and all. The chief guest of this national conference, my guide, my friend, Professor Dr. R.K. Kamath Sir, who is the Vice Chancellor of Dr. Homi Baba State University, Mumbai. Another resource person, Professor Dr. Sampat Kumar Sir from Tumkur, Karnataka State. Dr. Arao Sir, President of SUCLA, in charge principal, and Dr. Pawar Sir, Dr. Sutar Sir, Dr. Sachin Patel Sir, in charge principal of Khanapur College, Dr. More Sir, the convener of this conference, Mahesh Gaikwad Sir, all the delegates, participants, and friends. On behalf of Rayat Shikshan Sanstha's Sadguru Garge Maharaj College, Karan, I welcome you all for this one-day national conference on practical librarianship and quality enhancement. This conference is jointly organized by the Keshavrao Pawar Central Library of this college and Shivaji University College Librarian Associations that we call as SUCLA. Now, I would like to brief here few things about this institute. This college is run by most renowned institute, Rayat Shikshan Sanstha Satara. This college is started in 1954 with only 54 students and with a single faculty, art faculty. Today, this college has flourished over to become a multi-faculty college with 29 departments: arts, commerce, science, and professional courses, with different support services and interdisciplinary activities. Now the total strength of this college is 30,000 students and more than 500 teaching and non-teaching staff. I am proud to say this institute is the biggest institute in the jurisdiction of Shivaji University, Kolhapur, qualitatively as well as quantitatively. Recognizing this contribution in higher education, this college is awarded with the status of community college by University Grant Commission. NAC Bangalore has accredited this college with A+ grade, having 3.63 CGPA in the third cycle of assessment and accreditation. This college has an autonomous status since 2019. Again, I am going to tell you few things about this conference. It is said that library is heart of the academic institutions. Library play a vital role in supporting the academic activities of higher education by establishing, maintaining, and providing the qualitative information services within easy accessibility and greater efficiency. This national conference on practical librarianship and quality enhancement is able to discuss the practical issues followed in academic, library, and quality enhancement services. This conference will provide an opportunity to librarian professionals, researchers to interact and also to present their innovative research work and emerging technology which will be beneficial for the nation. I am very happy to mention here that in this conference, more than 128 research papers for this conference are issued. It shows that you all people are also doing very good research in your field. Nowadays, library professionals are to be considered as a teaching faculty. So you have to also chance to become a college principal as well as vice chancellors of university and many more. So I appeal to all of you that you develop your research work, research career by doing a quality research work in your library field. With these few words, I convey my best wishes to this one-day national conference. I heartily congratulate young and dynamic librarian of this college, Mr. Mahesh Gaikwad, as well as his own team for organizing this national level event. I convey my best wishes to this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sir. For the inaugural address, I request Honorable Dr. Rajneesh Kamath sir, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, Mumbai.
Namaste. Dignitaries on the dais, dynamic principal of this college, Dr. Mohan Rajmani sir. Hope I am audible to all of you. So once again, very good morning. And dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, because there are so many known faces in the audience. Dr. Mohan Rajmani, the dynamic principal of this college. So I would like to share with you that I have been visiting this particular college since many years, and pre-Rajmani sir and post-Rajmani sir. That means before Rajmani sir, he came to this particular college as a principal, and after that, I have seen a lot of transition. And
the entire look of the college was changed only because of Rajmani sir. He deserves a very well appreciation from all of us. Because in their Shikshan Samstha, I have been visiting many colleges in their Shikshan Samstha, and I have seen that their Shikshan Samstha has now came out with a pattern which can be said as NAC A awarding pattern. And Rajmani sir is the pioneer of that pattern. So wherever this NAC PL team is coming, Rajmani sir actually guides the entire college, and then many colleges they have been now getting NAC A plus plus or A plus status. So the credit goes to him. The second thing is that, as he rightly said, that 1954 started with 54 students, and now this is more than 5,000 plus students, 13,000 students, junior and senior. So you can imagine my university, which is Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, so which is a government university, but the number of students in this particular college, they are more than the number of students in my university. The number of staff in this college, they are more than my university. So I wish all the best to you to become university. Another important person in this particular conference is Mr. Manish Gaikwad, the young librarian of this college, and he is also very, very professional. Dr. V.T. Sampath Kumar is from Tukur University. He may not remember me, but I have had some interaction with him through some professional means few years back. And maybe I can disclose here, because my wife was doing PhD, and that time there was a questionnaire, because as you know, that in library science, the questionnaire is very important. And regarding the websites of various libraries, she was investigating, and he was one of the person who indirectly guided her. So I know his professional competence. He is very, very competent. My two former colleagues, they are also equally competent. One is Dr. D.B. Star. He is now in charge librarian of the Barrister Pawar Critical Library, Kolhapur, Shivaji University Library. I have seen him since he was in one of the colleges in Sangli, and I have seen his development. So he's the person who takes a lot of interest. And as the theme of this conference is practical librarianship, that means there are two kinds of librarianships. One is theoretical librarianship and practical librarianship. I would say both of my colleagues, former colleagues, Dr. D.P. Sutar and Dr. Bilawar, they are practical librarians. I have worked with them for many years, especially Dr. Bilawar. As I was introduced that I was librarian for 4.5 years, because it so happened that we had very eminent librarians like Dr. Vailande, Dr. Sutar, Dr. Puja, and they developed the library, but that development was to be sustained, and there was a NAC team was about to come to Shivaji University, Kolhapur. So our former Vice Chancellor, Professor Manikrao Sarangi sir, one day he just called me. That was Saturday, I still remember. And then he said that from Monday, you don't go to electronics department, because I was working in electronics department. You directly go and sit in the library. So I said, sir, what I will do there? So he said, I'm handing over the charge of the library to you. So I said, sir, I don't have any background of library, except my wife is librarian. So he says that you take some tips from your wife and then you handle that charge. I said, sir, faculty is different and all the background is different. He said, you have to do that, because in my biodata, somewhere there was some mention of library automation. So he said, you have that background, so you go and automate that library. So that's how I happened to be a in-charge librarian of Barrister Pawar Critical Library. Then I thought that this particular thing will continue for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year. But then it continued till 4.5 years. And the persons whom I believe the most and whom they helped me the most is Dr. Bilawar. So he was so particular that he used to remember me, like he used to alert me that this is to be done, this is to be done. So I found that librarianship is very, very comfortable, and that is the best time. I learned so many things from library professionals.
So many persons from the library, Barrister Balse Critical Library, I could learn a lot of things like the journals, the open educational resources, the library automation, how it is different than the computer automation. Because I was supposed to be the expert in computer automation, but then I found that library automation is altogether different as compared to the computer automation. I learned so many things about how the library professional like Dr. Ranganathan, who is the pioneer in the library. So he could develop a system which could be adopted by other professionals. So the duodecimal system and other classification systems. I could learn the 5 laws of library science, and then how those 5 laws of library science they could be related to 5 laws of websites. So in this way, there is a lot of relation and a lot of things the library professionals can give to other professionals, right? And vice versa, the other professionals can contribute to the library science. Coming to another person whom I have been interacting is Dr. Arao. He is from New College, and if you go to New College library, he will enthusiastically show you that what initiatives he has taken. So New College Library has become an ideal library. Of course, this college library is also ideal, but New College Library has got its own beauty because it is housed in a separate building. And Dr. Arao is particularly famous not only for his love for the library, but love for the library professional, because he could build an association, that is SUCLA, and through which many activities are being taken place. So in this way, what I believe is a lot of things like the librarianship, the practical librarianship, they are very, very important, and that can be done only through the way of networking. And one of the roots of this networking is nothing but this particular conference. And the conference title is also very catchy title, that is Practical Librarianship and Quality Enhancement. So a very proper title has been given, and I'm very happy that professionals from Pan India, I would say, they are participating in this, and how to use the technology in the right perspective. So the librarians of this particular library professional, I would say, LIS professional, library and information science. So they are actually using the technology in such a significant way that by using, I think, webcasting, you are doing webcasting, and through webcasting, this particular, the entire event has been covered all over the most of the states. So I'm very happy, and thank you very much at the outset for inviting me for this particular conference. As I said that I've seen a lot of transitions, not only in the technology, but also in the library. I happen to be the student of Shivaji University, Kolhapur. So I did my MSc in 1993, completed 1993. So during those period, I used to visit the library. So I have seen how the print journals are important and how the archives, the volumes are kept, and the big archive section was there. After 1993, I could actually pass SET examination. I was the first one to pass the SET examination in Maharashtra. And then I joined again Shivaji University at Kolhapur PG Center. So there also I saw the library is being shaped very nicely. However, a major change in my professional life came when I joined Goa University, Goa. So that was somewhere in 1996. And the Goa University Librarian was so beautiful. It was housed in a very good building having a specialized architecture. So there I could learn that architecture plays a very important role in library. So these days we heard a lot of things regarding green library. So green library is where there should not be, the light should be natural light, artificial light should be minimum. So that is green library concept. But in those days, in 1996, I could learn that the green library concept is very important. And thanks to the librarian at the time, most of you might be aware of his name, Professor Kolhapur, P.D. Kolhapur. So he was librarian of that particular library, a very dynamic person, a person who has handled the library of Bangalore University, and he was appointed as a librarian because our Vice Chancellor was Professor Sonde, who was actually Dean of Indian Institute of Science. So from Professor Kolhapur, and he started immediately the BLS and MLS course. So from him, I could learn so many things about the library, the automation aspect of the library, why website is important for the library. So how the website is a mirror of the library. So whatever is there in the library, you have to put it on the website so that the library can be seen from all over the globe. So that's how I could learn. Another aspect, another person at the time who actually gave a lot of impacted my professional career is your again library professional, Professor Haru. I still remember. And the name of the practice was New Gen. So that time New Gen was developed. And in those days, there was a craze regarding the open source software. The software has to be open source. Because all of us at Pawar used to know Linux, inherited Linux, and lot of open source software under Linux. So we thought that I was part of the team to give strategy regarding how to make New Gen as an open source software. So we suggested ways and means, and because open source software means all free of cost. So how to get the money out of that, because there is a development cost. So then we had a lot of strategies, and we could develop New Gen was launched as a open source software. Okay. And the speciality at that time is, so far there was no concept of web OPEN. OPEN was there, Open Public Access Catalog, but there was no concept of web OPEN. So with the web, New Gen in 1996, the web OPEN was developed so that the OPEN can be made available all over the globe. It can be accessed from all over the globe. So this was the development. And then we started spreading our wings to other libraries. So the first client, because university was encouraging a lot of consultancy. So we approached a client called as, you might be aware, the National Antarctica Center, which is based at Wasco. And that National Antarctica Center, which used to send many missions to Antarctica, they had a lot of scientific documents. So how that scientific documents can be put in the library, and how the scientists from all over the nation, they can get the benefit of the software of the documents. So we started working on that. And by using New Gen, we could completely automate that particular library of National Antarctic Center. And then there was a lot of praise from Goa government and a lot of praise from central government, because that particular library comes under CSIR. And that's how I could put that appreciation in my biodata. And accidentally, Professor Sankesu sir could locate that. And that's how I was given in charge of libraries. Another thing which we did in that particular time. So why I'm telling you this? Because how a library person can give consultancy to other professionals by taking help of others. Because I am aware that in this particular college, there is a department of electronics, there is department of computer science, and a very dynamic librarian is also there. So you can give consultancy to various departments. So that time there was a concept, or there was a project which is called as Million Book Projects. So Million Book Projects was a project which was started by Carnegie Mellon University, which is in USA. So this university, they had a dream that million books should be put on the website. So the books which are out of copyright, so those books can be put on the website so that those can be accessed by all over the globe. Goa University, actually Indian Institute of Science was the nodal agency for the project, and Goa University was one of the nodes of the project. So we started digitizing the actually all the documents which are out of copyright and putting all those documents on the website. And you might be aware that there is something called as repository. So the concept of repository, we started working in 1997 with the library professionals. And then I learned how to generate the metadata. So metadata so that the classification and the automatic retrieval of the information is possible. So all these advanced concepts I could learn only because of library science. So those two were very interesting projects. And looking at those projects, there was a lot of publicity in the media. Articles started appearing in Times of India. And we were approached by Indian Navy. So Indian Navy, they had a submarine. And there are around 40,000 plus parts of the submarine. So for one part, if you want to replace the one part, there are at least 100 actually industries behind that. So you can get that part from 100 industries. So we were given a project which is costing around 50 lakhs at that time to digitize the submarine. So that means all the parts, the specifications. So the engineers of Indian Navy, they used to assess the system.
So they have to just touch there was a tab, and touching the tab and that part, the entire specifications and the vendors and everything should be open. So that was a very challenging project, and we could, before coming to Shivaji University, I could complete the project. So again, that was a project which was done with the Association of Library Science People, and which was very much appreciated. Coming back, as I was mentioning that there is a transition from the libraries. I happened to work in the Indian Institute of Science as a visiting scientist in 1998. So there I have seen the Tata Memorial Library of Indian Institute of Science. And then I was actually amazed to see the collection of the Tata Memorial Library. It's such a rich library that you can get anything there, whatever you want, it is there. During those time, I was doing PhD, and while doing PhD, as you know, that lot of reference work is required. So I could see that from Tata Memorial Library, there was a service which used to give, that service is reference service. So you have to give just keywords, and they used to give the entire thing by using the print media. But then later they convert the entire thing into e-media. So in this way, I have seen the transition in the library from print media to e-media. I have seen the transition of the library from a fully automated to automated library. I have seen how the library softwares are developed. I have seen how the library softwares are different than all other softwares. So actually, all these things, since I was working with library science professionals, it could enrich my professional knowledge, and that's how we could do a lot of things in Shivaji University also. Another thing I want to point out is in the my introduction, the person who introduced, he said that I have written the SSR of Shivaji University Kolhapur. So just for the sake of knowledge or just for the sake of information, a single person cannot contribute to the success of the institution. Like the NAC or the library automation or whatever professional things are there, you have to have a team of people, and the team is very important. So the SSR is not written by me. I was one of the team members. Yeah, you can say leader, but more than me, or that time Vice Chancellor, Professor Devanand Shinde was there. Professor Shivkesar, who is now Vice Chancellor, he was also there. So we sat together, we discussed, we had a lot of brainstorming, and then we wrote the SSR. And of course, all the criterion gates were there. So that's how the library is also a teamwork. And the team leader, that is the librarian, is very important. So if you have a very dynamic team leader, then you can see a lot of improvements in the library. Another thing I have a special respect for librarianship is because the status of librarian. The principal sir has mentioned that librarian should be given vice chancellor, librarian should be given principal, and they should develop themselves. Of course, that's a very important and that's a very pertinent point. But sir, for me, librarian is very important because librarian is supposed to be a teacher of teachers. So, so as a teacher of teachers, librarian has very different status. Librarian is supposed to be at the apex, because there was a lot of debate regarding the librarian, whether the librarian is a teaching staff or non-teaching staff. And then they had a special category called as non-vocational teaching staff. Okay. In my opinion, that is not the right kind of justice given to the librarian, because librarian is more than teachers, and more than teachers. Why? Because irrespective of the domain, the librarian can give you a lot of information. The librarian knows whatever domain you have. They have a methodology so that whatever you want, they can get out of this knowledge explosion, because there is a lot of knowledge explosion, there is a lot of information explosion, there is a lot of information which is put on the website. But librarian is the person who knows how to get the right kind of information. So therefore, they are called as the manager of the information gateway. And that's why the librarians are very important, and they have a special status in my opinion. Coming to the theme of this conference, I was going through the brochure of this conference, and there are a lot of themes, sub-themes, which have been given. For example, best practices and qualitative library services in academic libraries. So I know that as a librarian, you must have gone through the new education policy. So in this new education policy, if you just it's a PDF, and if you just do the control F means just to find out how many times a particular term is there. So you just give library, you will get 37 times the term library is repeated in the document. So that's the importance the library they have considered as far as the new education policy is concerned. So from the perspective of new education policy, lot of things are now coming up. And of course, I'm sure that Principal Rajmani sir has taken a note of that. For example, there is something called as multidisciplinary education. So in this multidisciplinary education, actually there will be the student who will be trained in the multiple disciplines, right? And in my opinion, there is nothing other than the library which is multidisciplinary, because library encompasses all the disciplines. Because if you see the belief eligibility, the students coming from science, maths, social sciences, humanities, languages, everybody is coming there. So in this way, the true multidisciplinary implementation is possible with the library professional. The second, lot of curriculum changes. So from the new education policy and looking at the technology, because as you know, that today we are talking about the 21st century classroom. There are many students in the audience. So in the 21st century classroom, what's important is the student should have voice. The student should be able to tell out what he or she wants to do. The student should have choice. So therefore, we are talking about choiceless credit system. The student should have time for reflection. So we don't believe in just 60 minutes delivery, but after 20 minutes, because looking at their time attention span, because if they sit here for another 40 minutes, they may not be able to sit here, they will go out. So there should be time for reflection. Then the student should be able to be a critical thinker. Okay, because the critical thinking, the collaboration, the communication, creativity, these four things are very important and they are lacking in the curriculum. Then the student should be able to find out the problems around them so that they can solve the problems. So that is the expectation as per the new education policy. Then the student should be able to give a lot of solutions to the society, which is very important.
National
So,
seminar join केलेस.
If you see,
National
then
seminar.
the library science curriculum, and now they are revising.
Sadhguru
They have all
Gadge
this-
Maharaj College.
but whenever it comes to ethics, for example, ethics consider values. So
Huh?
most of the MLIS or GLS curriculum,
कोण
they
आहे?
have part
माझा
of it.
बंद आहे त्यात.
We are talking about plagiarism and how to avoid the plagiarism. So that
त्यांचं हे आलं
comes from the library science. So therefore, library science again plays a very
ब्राउचर
important. And from the
400 रुपये
perspective
fee
of,
होती.
they bring
त्याला
the
ऑनलाईन
value.
पाठवलं. आता पासवर्ड
You might be aware that the new PhD guidelines, as per the UGC, they have made it mandatory
टॉपिक का
that before the registration of the students, there has to be a 2-credit course on ethics and how to write. Okay, so both these things only library science professionals can teach us. Okay, therefore, again, this particular course is
प्रॅक्टिकल
very important.
लायब्ररियनशिप अँड क्वालिटी इनहॅन्समेंट.
Coming to future, right? Because this conference has many
क्वालिटी
themes.
इनहॅन्समेंट.
And one of the themes is what will happen in future. Of course, there is a eco-friendly library practices is there. NAC initiatives is there. NAC is very important, and library is very important in NAC. Web-based library services are there because future is very important. So, what will happen in future? So today we are in 2022. When I started my career in 93 and in 96, a full-fledged faculty member, we should talk about what will happen at 2000, Y2K. Okay. In Y2K, once there was a solution on Y2K, we started talking about what will happen in 2008, Vision 2008. Then we started talking about Vision 2015. Now we were talking about Vision 2020. Now we are talking about Vision 2025. But now, most of the institutes, they are talking about what will happen in Vision 2050. So I think this is the right kind of platform wherein you can deliberate on what will happen in 2050, when most of us may be there or we don't know what will happen. But what will happen in Vision 2050? So you will find that there are a lot of changes in the library, right? And librarianship.
त्यांचं
So
ऑफलाईन
the students or the stakeholders coming to library, they are
पार्टिसिपेट
getting
करायची इच्छा होती
lesson,
लोकांची.
not many people are
त्यांच्यासाठी
coming.
फक्त सेपरेट चालू
So now this is the time
त्याच्यामुळे
that
त्यांचं तिथलं जे
the
सेशन आहे
stakeholders
ते
coming to
लाईन
the
नाही
library,
केलेलं.
the library can think of reaching to the stakeholders.
तशी
which is very
सिस्टीम लावून फक्त
And I am sure
I-
the professor, the people like Professor Sampath Kumar, they have strategies how to reach to the stakeholders and how to use the web or how to use the
Correct, like-
emails and how to use
Correct.
more than an email. Now we are talking about IoT. Most of the electronic students, they might be aware about the Internet of Things and how to get what the stakeholders want. That is very important. And there, the artificial intelligence is very important. You might be aware that in artificial intelligence, there was a experiment which is called as Turing experiment. So there were two rooms, and in one room there was computer, other room there was a human being, and then the human being was asking a lot of questions to both of them, and then suppose they're 2 into 2, what is the answer? 4. Instant answer both the parties. So there is no difference. Then a big sum, some 6-digit number multiplied by 2. The computer will give you immediate answer. Human being will give slow answer, right? So again, there is a distinction. The human being will make some errors, some mistakes. Computer won't make any mistake. Again, there is a difference. So when the computer is intelligent, when the computer mimics the human being, when the computer actually behaves in the same manner as human being, then it is intelligent. So in the same way, in this particular period, by 2050, the libraries will be completely occupied by artificial intelligence. The libraries will come to know what users want. How it is possible? This is possible by looking at the data, because there is a saying that data is the fuel of new economy. Data is the fuel. That means the new economy will run on the data. And data, now it is called as big data. So what is big data? Lot of data, different kind of data, and data coming from various sources. So that is called as big data. So if you do big data analytics, you will come to know what kind of book is required in future. So suppose now you must be aware about Kindle. Kindle is a device on which you read the books. So in Kindle, there is a software. That software, whenever you read the book, it goes on analyzing. So suppose a particular word is there, and if the user is getting stuck at that word, then the Kindle software will let the author know. They send the feedback that most of the users, they are finding this particular word difficult, and they are stuck. They are facing obstacles. So then the next edition, that particular word is replaced. So this is the kind of magic of the technology. And I'm sure that library science will be dominated by this kind of technology dominance, because a lot of big data is coming, artificial intelligence is coming, machine learning is coming. There is a lot of work on neuroscience. So neuroscience is coming. So you might be aware that nowadays we are talking about apps. And most of the, for example, the most famous Marathi novels, now Pratilipy, is now coming in apps. So what is this? Whenever those are in apps, and whenever it is something called as 24/7 services. So the library will be extended beyond the walls. It is already extended. It will be available by 24/7. It will be customized. So these are all trends in the library. And more than that, the librarian will come to know before the user that what kind of books the user wants, so that those books will be made available in the library. So this is all is the magic of the technology, and this is possible. But why librarian is important in this technology governance? That is also one question that we must answer. That is because you must have heard about, we are talking about neuroscience, and many people, the senior citizens, now they are getting Parkinson and this kind of diseases. And you might be aware, not many librarians are not getting this disease because they are always in the updation mode. So they say that if you want to avoid the diseases like Parkinson, then you should not put your brain in the autopilot mode. So what is autopilot mode? Suppose I am coming from my home to this particular point, most of your employees. You come by the same road, you see the same things around, and then whenever you start journey, the brain moves into autopilot. You don't have to tell your brain. So that you come to the college, then you have the same security guard, you go for the parking, come here, and you start working. Okay. Remember, whenever we get up in the morning and whenever we start morning the things, we are in the autopilot mode. But these things should be avoided. So this thing should be avoided means the doctors prescribe that everybody should go by different route to the office. Okay, so that the situation will be different. You will come out of autopilot mode. Now coming to librarianship, the librarians, they always make the readers to read the book. And that's how they are helping the people to come out of autopilot mode, which is very, very important. So in a way, now today with the new education policy, we are not only talking about the physical health, we are talking about the mental health. Because you must be aware that not many people are talking about mental health. Why? Because heart, health of the heart, we know where heart is. But where the mind is, nobody knows. We can't see mind. But today we are talking about mental health. That's how this has been brought in the curriculum. So librarian is the community. So in the age of technology, only librarians can help us to have the mental peace. Only librarians can help us to teach us how to think positive, how to think critically. So this is the profession which has got a lot of dimensions, and all those dimensions are research dimensions. And therefore, this particular profession is very important. And even in 2050, although there will be a lot of machines around, you cannot replace a human librarian, and that is the future. And therefore, I'm sure that all these future things will be discussed in this particular conference. My best wishes to this particular conference. And with this, I would also like to thank all of you. I happen to be, and I suppose to be a part of your community because I work as a research librarian. So thank you very much. And my first felicitation was also done by librarian in Mumbai, the Vidya Vihar Somaya College. So Professor Vaidante is librarian there now. So he invited me all the way to Somaya Vidya Vihar, and they visited me. So once again, thank you very much for your felicitation. I wish you all the best and all the best for this conference. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
Thank you, Honorable Sir, for the motivational words and inspiring us. To express the vote of thanks of the today's inaugural ceremony, I request my colleague Dr. Indrajit Dole, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, SGM College, Kerala.
First of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee of this particular conference for giving me such kind of opportunity to present vote of thanks. I would like to thank Honorable Inspector Dr. R.K. Kamath sir, Vice Chancellor Dr. Homi Bhabha, State University, for accepting our invitation as a chief guest for the inaugural ceremony. I would like to thank Dr. R.P. Adho sir, President, and Dr. B.S. Padwal, Secretary of Shivaji University College Librarians Association for attending this ceremony. Special thanks to Professor Dr. B.T. Sampath Kumar, Professor, Tumkur University, Tumkur, Karnataka, for giving their valuable time for this national conference. In addition, on behalf of organizing committee, I would like to thank Dr. D.B. Sutar, In-charge Director, BBK, KRC, Shivaji University, Kolhapur, and Dr. S.B. Patil, In-charge Historian of Library, and also Dr. P.B. Bilawar, Sir, Deputy Library, Shivaji University, Kolhapur, for their meaningful presence over here. I would like to thank our visionary principal, Dr. M. Rajmani Sahib, all the vice principals, IPC coordinators, all the faculty members of the SGM College, Karad, for their continuous support and guidance. Last but not least, we are very much thankful to all the participants, that is faculty members, students, for their huge response for this particular conference. Last, I would like to thank Mr. Kaipad sir for organizing this conference. With the permission of the President, I declare that this inaugural ceremony is concluded here. Thank you very much.